everyone, and welcome back to another one of our little snapshots about some of the things we've got happening at SAL Consulting. I'm really excited to introduce you to one of our senior psychologists, Damon Williams. Damon is going to talk to us today about what happens when we set up a meeting at the assessment clinic. How does it work? What do you do? What kinds of questions are we going to run through? So Damon's going to talk to us about that. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Catherine.
So Damon, tell us, what happens when I first send a referral through? What happens at that first assessment meeting?
So the first assessment meeting, we do what's called a clinical interview, where we'll get you in and find out a little bit more about what questions you're wanting to get answered through the referral. We might ask you such questions about the developmental history of the person being referred, any pre-existing diagnoses they may have, any behavioural concerns, just to get a bit of a picture of what's going on, and then we possibly will suggest some of the different assessments that might be helpful to conduct to be able to answer the questions you're wanting to get answered.
Okay, lovely. And how do I know what to book in for?
Well, you may not, Catherine. Sometimes you might have a really clear idea. Often, if you've been seeing other professionals like a paediatrician or a GP, they may recommend specific assessments. But if you sit with us and you just talk through what the issues are, we'll be able to suggest the assessments that might be of benefit and be able to explain to you what they will tell you and what they won't tell you.
Lovely. Now, if I'm a parent and I've got a really anxious child, can you tell me how you would manage that in the assessment, or even if I'm anxious myself, you know?
Absolutely. All our clinicians are well trained in working with people with a variety of presentations. What we'll do prior to the assessment is give you a little bit of information, such as where it's going to be, roughly how long it's going to take, and a bit of a description that you might be able to give to the person being referred to help set their mind at ease and so they're not walking in cold. Once they arrive, we'll spend a bit of time building some rapport with them, so this might involve asking just some general questions about them and their interests, offer them a snack or a cup of tea or a water, and spend a bit of time acclimatising to the room that the assessment's going to occur in. Throughout the process, we offer opportunities for breaks as well if the person's getting a little bit overwhelmed and needing some time, and we will also go through the assessment process with them again at the beginning of the session, because sometimes they might have forgotten from when you spoke to them, or if things are rushed and you didn't get the opportunity to say it. So we make sure that we're giving them that extra bit of preparation as needed.
Oh, great, thank you. What kinds of things do you ask in these assessments?
So it's a range of different things. They're not all verbal assessments. Some of them the person might be doing puzzles, they might be making particular designs or shapes using blocks, they might be looking at pictures and identifying what's missing or trying to complete visual puzzles with their mind. Where we do ask questions, they might be general interview-based questions. We might ask them about different emotions and what makes them feel those emotions. With some of our more structured assessments, however, there might be specific questions we ask which they have to rate. So I might ask you, how often do you worry? Would it be sometimes, always, or never? And so the questions might be you rating particular things to be able to give us an overall picture around what's going on for you.
Great. Now, does my GP or anyone else need to get involved in this process?
If you would like them to, often it can be useful to pass on any results or diagnoses to GPs or paediatricians so they have a holistic perspective of the person. Sometimes you might have gone to the GP first to discuss the concerns and they might have recommended you go to a psychologist to get the assessment, but it's completely up to you. Once we've completed the assessment and given you the report, you own that, so you can choose who else you might want to share that with. It can be quite useful, particularly in an academic environment, to share some information with teachers so that they're able to tailor or modify the learning environment as appropriate for your child. However, it's again up to you how much detail you want to provide them from the results.
And do I need a referral to make a booking?
No, you don't. Sometimes, as I said, it might come through the GP, but you can just approach us directly using our 1-800 number or our website.
Okay, great. And what happens with the results? What do I do after getting that report?
So we'll have a session with you and with the referred person where we explain the results to you. Our results we usually present in as easy to understand English and friendly language as possible, because it can get a little bit jargonistic when you're interpreting tables and numbers. So you'll have the written document, but also an opportunity to ask any questions and to be able to go through that with the assessing clinician.
And then what about if I need some follow-up work?
So we provide a list of recommendations in all of our reports, and that will include not only practical things that you can do at home with the child, but also if we recommend any follow-up therapy or any additional assessment, we would include that in there as well, and we're certainly able to provide those services if you choose to go with us.
Damon, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. I think that's made it really clear for everyone in the process and how easy and simple it's going to be for everyone to book in. So thank you very much.
My pleasure, Catherine. Thank you.